shoddy craftsmanship. Quick, Louie, fix
Wow,
it.
this is a long time ago.
Yeah. 3 years?
Jesus Christ.
Girl.
What's the tight video on this?
Okay,
Oh,
remember what I
2011.
told you? Hey,
Yeah.
Lots happened since
phone
then,
number
such
and
as
or address.
writing episode 5.
And doing episode 6, which will be up in like a few hours after this goes up.
Woohoo! I forget what we did for this one. Oh yeah. Oh, he's still sitting there with a big smile on his face, like impressions.
Well, how do you react to that?
Yep.
Done. This is the worst day ever.
See, remember when we first came up with the idea of Shout? We're just like someone who's just romantically just like thinking everything's a date.
I knew
Yeah.
it. I've seen people from
I feel kind of weird about this episode,
Never
honestly.
seen Bomberman before.
Because it and episode 1 had a lot of ideas that didn't really carry over past, like, episode 4.
Huh. Well, anyway, back to figuring
I
out
think
what
it's
the
because our
problem is.
asshole sides tend to kick into the writing later in the series. We're like, liberty's taken. We can be assholes again. I said, raid!
Like boys.
I found
Code
you.
cracked up every time I said raid.
So I made a new one.
Also, I made Louis' eyes smaller just because I thought it was funny.
I love Louis' face.
You're welcome.
Eh?
I gotta go home.
Oh, I love this scene.
My wife's in labor.
Hey,
relax,
bad
man.
accent.
Menstruation's just a form of rejection.
What?
Did you know you can't smell your own eyes? Facts like that disappoint me.
What the fuck?
That joke comes from an older video of yours.
Hey now,
Oh yeah.
I got one last thing to say.
That was one of my stupider moments, but I still laugh at the joke. And I still use it.
Yeah.
I'd find that depraved if I knew what that meant.
Are you sure your bunny
I think
doesn't
that
eat
line was
chocolate?
intended for somewhere else.
Then why
They just put it there.
Because it's funny. Anyway,
I think this is. I think we had a lot of fun with this episode because we started figuring out writing for the actual jitters is a lot of fun.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kids aren't allowed in
We were
the
still kind of
Saturday
getting their
Night
personalities
Show.
together.
But we haven't
Yeah,
really
just the idea of
seen
though,
since
just
Mike
an
disappeared.
incompetent team is always fun to
We're
write for.
fighting the Hige bandits at one of
I like
the
your
bases.
description of them, a
Maybe
ragtag
if
team
you
of
brought
suck.
them.
Yeah.
We always had to do that stupid
There is
fire
description, that's the only way to
trip.
describe
He
them.
didn't even see that side of the cliff. But then he got pissed off. And
So, like, the
left.
deal with Twister back there, in the original series, his name is actually Twist, as a pun on Twist and Shout, and I didn't
Well,
realize that.
unless you brag
So I
about
thought
the
his
best
name
way
was the
to
natural
noodles.
disaster.
Where are you gonna get noodles?
That's his last name.
Yeah.
Most people get car sick.
Also, he never
Sick of the
talks,
truth.
except for, like, these two moments in the season finales, but I just decided to make him talk anyway.
And this is the original voice you did for Dr. Ein too.
Worse.
Yeah.
But he'll work more for less pay.
You started making it more just like nah later into it.
Shout your
It's because that yeah voice was what I used for Professor Oak in the Pokemon one-shots.
Plus, it also sounds a lot like Dr. Ein in Generations. It's me, Dr. Ein. All that stuff.
Team, it's an emergency code flamboyant.
Stop it.
We were going to go a lot further with the whole stereotype thing, and I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, our ideas are still really stupid. I think that's the kind of general consensus from this.
Yep.
By the way, I was really surprised that Code could do this.
Yep, nobody knew that was code.
That's outrageous. I love this idea too. I think a lot of our good idea concepts came from this episode, despite some of the weirder ones. Like the idea that almost every single person they help is actually evil.
Yeah.
That's and just to admit, that's the dumbest ship I've ever seen.
Make it less aerodynamic. Check.
The USS Penis.
Well, this is awkward.
Fuck.
Gasoline check. Clearly bad attitudes weren't.
Man, my voice lowered a lot when it came to Birdie later down the line.
Yeah. I do like Birdie in situations where he's actually on point with what's going on around him.
What's wrong with me, Doctor?
I like this part.
It's okay, I can take whatever news you give me.
It's even dumber when it lands.
Yeah.
If a showerhead could talk, he would probably say,
Yeah, mission. Bye.
I love the effect of being louder.
I love the fact that he's actually just sitting there in the ship on his own anyway.
Yeah.
Be impressed.
I think that was my best take by far.
Yeah.
Hige want with an ant monster's head.
Well, if you just
And that was also the last one where we gave Mujo a weird laugh.
anatomy, mainly the
That was going to be another running gag. We just didn't stick with it for long.
oh come the crap on, kid. That bomb
We do it a couple places, but it's not as consistent as, like, Louis dying.
Oh yeah.
Squeak, squeak.
The funny thing is there's no movement in these scenes ever, so it's the same position.
Say to me. Don't interrupt me.
Okay, so to make your bombs bigger, eat a diet.
This made me love recording for the deep one as well.
Laugh too.
He just sticks out of all of them.
You couldn't save a moderately struggling orphan.
The funny thing is, I feel like he's a character favorite despite the few lines he has. He's
Yeah.
at least one of my favorites.
I laughed.
It's one of mine.
Like how I'm laughing at you.
My Mojo voice is really inconsistent.
Oh, what the hell, kid?
Well, you almost had more of a southern drawl in it.
Can we do something,
Yeah.
Bongo?
Create new bomb.
That was a reference to the Jetters game.
That little distraction has given me all the time I need.
Surprised she didn't murder her own voice with this.
Soon my monster baby.
I love your zoom in on the same scene. New pose.
One of these things is not like the other things. One of these things is Birdie. You guys are too serious.
God, our
Congratulations.
conversations
You
and
managed to
just that
exterminate
voice
an
alone
entire
are some of the
species.
weirdest things
No
we've ever
sustain
done.
an injury by tripping on a rock. Mighty would be proud.
I always
And after
feel
episode
guilty
3,
when my
where we kind of
blood
overused him,
Just to
we
make you feel
really
better.
worked on pulling him
What's
back.
Whitey's batch? But why
And
are you
yet,
giving it
we
to
have
me?
so many of
Still my
his
socks. I think it's
jokes
makes
in the
sense.
joke vault that if we never wrote a new line for him, he would still have enough to go through to the series
I
finale.
guess I can get used to having you around.
It's just weird it's hard to have a non sequitur character like
I'm
that
Shiro.
have a lot of play.
Yeah.
How'd you get that name? What? Hang on. I think I'm forgetting something.
Just okay. Just remind him we do kill him.
Yeah.
This is a really good newspaper.
It's a stupid way to end the episode too. Just Twister eating a newspaper. What song was this? I remember.
Ants Invasion by Adam and the Ants.
Oh, that's right. It's just so appropriate.
Oh my god, I had so much fun editing this part.
Giant metal ostrich.
I have a habit of really emphasizing my last syllables, so it's like ostrich.
People thought me crazy, so I did it. So now
It's just so fun with a character like that to play with the voice, and the laughs is always fun.
stand a chance against
It was the laugh.
a
Every time I heard it, I just kept smiling or laughing while I was editing this.
It's always that voice that I do for any character that makes you laugh. I pretty much did the same exact laugh for Toro, you know, where it's just like
Yeah.
I wrote a letter to my mom.
silly stuff like that.
Q.
What'd I do this time, Bongo?
It's just... Well, that was dumber than I expected anyway. It still had a lot of funny lines, but you could tell there's a lot of ideas that we changed by the time we got to probably episode 4. Maybe because once we got to episode 3, we kind of went, okay, some of these ideas probably won't work in the long run, so we could try some other stuff out.
Yeah. And a lot of it was kind of just deciding what we were going to do with the Jetters.
I think just the idea that they've always constantly fail, but somehow they managed to scratch by helped. You know what honestly kind of led to that better idea was the fact that it took so long for us to make the next episode following. That it almost kind of, the idea came up, you know what if they just could not make Rent? What kind of characters would these be? But I do have to admit, like, when that moved to that episode was a lot of fun, so, especially to write, that was a lot of fun.
Episode 3 or 4?
Both 2 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
3 was tough, or was because I think it was hard to find the right material for it. There was good jokes in there, but yeah.
Yeah. I've mentioned, having rewatched episode 3, I'm very dissatisfied with the script, because it seems like every time there's something funny, a line will follow immediately after that kind of ruins it.
Mm-hmm. You were afraid it became too referential.
We were very referential with that. And it had a couple moments where it just cracked me up, like, I can't remember the pig guy's name.
The pig guy. I forgot
The pig
too.
guy.
Yeah.
Even though his whole shtick was the Count and the Count's voice and doing weird things, he said some shit that was just made me laugh my ass off.
I think the one I always think about that laughs like, I really like counting to 7, but I also like to sing.
I also like to sing.
It never sings in the entire episode. Of course.
Maybe that's the joke. It's just-
Exactly.
maybe 7 really pisses him off. But he's just stuck in that one tone of voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, funny, I mean, he was worth bringing back in episode 4 for a murder cameo. So, there's that.
Back to die.
I broke my arm in 3 places.
They've chopped me up into 200 pieces.
I think probably a lot of that, what came from that episode is us trying to find how to make those bad characters bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the idea we came up with. We maybe could have come up with something still less referential if we had more time with it. Either way, it's not an episode I hate. It's just not as good as the other ones.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about that episode. We're talking about episode 2.
We're going to remake episode 3 at some point, eventually.
No, it's so
So that was episode 2.
Yeah, you better watch it.